We back with Derrick Saine. All right. So yeah, we were speaking about for that brief commercial break. We were speaking about the peers,
yes.
And we actually just looked it up on a small break. And the peers was basically saying in law about people of your equal.
Mm-hmm.
Now, how you want to judge that? Kind of be up to you, but we know we had a lot of problems with people that's, when we say our peers, we used to people that around the same age as went to high school with us from our neighborhoods.
Yeah. But the peers, you know, I didn't have people from that Wayne County, you know what I'm saying? You got people from the outskirts of Wayne County and stuff like that, and then it wasn't a full biracial crowd, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't a mixed crowd. It was more white than anything.
Well, your peers are not a mixed crowd.
No.
You from the east side of Detroit?
Yeah.
In that time, east side of Detroit anyway, wasn't white. How many white people on your block? Was on your block when you grew up?
Maybe one.
And how many people was on your block?
Maybe one or two. Yeah.
I was saying, how many people was on your block?
About 40, 100, 40.
About 40. You don't say was you from Jefferson to what was the next major?
See, our block was a short block, so
I'm saying we ain't talking about just your side street.
Feud.
No, we ain't talking about just your side street. What's the next major? Jefferson. What's the next major? Not Mac.
We'll
say Mac. We'll say Mac.
Yeah.
What that mean? Mac next.
Mac.
So Jefferson and Mac.
Mm-hmm.
How many white people did you know that was on Hard?
None.
One or two?
Maybe about one or two.
How many people from Jefferson and Mac lived on both sides of the streets of Hardy when you was growing up? I'm pretty sure it probably that many today, but
oh man, it was a lot back then. It was
probably 40 each block.
Maybe well over 40 because of the household carried more than carried more than.
So probably 100.
Yeah.
So we'll say 100 people, right?
Yeah.
It was 2 white people. So you talking about 2%?
Yeah.
So that can't be your peers.
Mm-mm.
Your peers was 98% blacks.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yep, who had jobs like you.
Mm-hmm.
Your equal was on the same tax bracket as you. Because if you are making $30,000 a year, and the people that come and judge you making $300,000 a year, they don't understand your everydayness.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But I want to get more into that about the jury who judge you. I asked you about the prosecutor because, to me, a lot of people don't go after the prosecutors. This is why the prosecutors do what they do.
Mm-hmm.
They don't go after the prosecutors because a lot of people don't know how to go after the prosecutor. But after you're done with your case, it's very important to sue that and go at criminal charges or civil charges against that prosecution. They'll stop doing what they're doing. It's a certain way you go about it, though. They got immunity.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a certain way you got to go about it.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So
right.
Basically, I'll make a long story short. It's hard to sue a prosecutor.
You're right.
What's her name?
Athena Serenas.
It's hard to sue prosecutor
right.
or attorney Athena Serenas. But it's easy to sue Mrs. or Miss Athena Serenas.
Right.
Because suing her as prosecutor or attorney, that's her official capacity. And she have immunity under her official capacity. But in her personal capacity, she don't have the court's immunity.
Okay. I read about that somewhere. Because a lot of guys used to do that to the COs in the joint when they used to get to bothering them. What they end up doing is putting a heart on their checks and their money. They'll file, they'll freeze their whole accounts.
That's called a lien.
A lien, right.
Well, I'm not talking about a lien. I'm talking about civil. That's a lien is dealing with either contract law, business law, or commercial law. What I'm talking about is civil.
Right, I understand that.
Or criminal.
Right, but at the same time, it was the way they was doing it in the joint.
It's called commercial law.
Commercial law.
So what they was doing was, if they feel the CO or the warden or anybody have wronged them,
okay,
what they do, they have to be filed under UCC lien. Uniform Commercial Code.
Okay.
And they get their name and everything. They already have to be registered themselves as a secured party agent. Okay. So the prisoner had to be a secured party creditor or agent. And then what he'll do, he'll put them on a lien on his security paper, and he'll put their name on there as a debtor. So he'll write whatever accounts they have. He want the Secretary of State to put a lien on it, and they will, because he's a creditor. You follow what I'm saying?
Okay.
For it's nothing to be a creditor. You just gotta file your paperwork.
Oh, okay. I get what
you can do that too, but the law is constantly changing with that.
Right. Most definitely, laws do constantly change.
Yeah. But going back into the peers, your peers, the jury, your peers, but you didn't feel that they was your peers.
Absolutely not. I didn't feel comfortable with the whole jury in the first place. And I should have just, if I don't think I would have had the choice to get rid of them, because going through my first time, I didn't think I had the choice.
Yeah, you got a choice. Your lawyer didn't tell you that.
See, when he asked me about it, me being young, I didn't recognize that choice, because when there was a feud between the juries of how they wanted to do it, some of them didn't want to be there. I should have got rid of them the first time, but I didn't. And, it's too late to go back on it. But I was charged, like I say, at the end of the day, I ended up I should have been charged with murder. I ain't killed nobody, regardless, man. Now, what the law may hold and what they may say, that's a different thing. That's me, two different people. I'm a different person fighting against somebody that's in a higher power than me to prove to them that, hey, I'm not a murderer. But because of their laws, they consider a person, amongst a person, if you are affiliated with another person, you are all guilty of the same thing, the crime. And that's not true. Because if one man pulled the trigger, can't everybody do the killing, regardless of how they put it.
Unless you told him to kill him.
Right,
That'd be different.
Right.
But it get a lot of problems. We talked about before on part 2. We talked about the informants.
Right.
So that's a big convicting issue for you. The informants, if it wasn't no informants, for one, you never would have been locked up.
What was a big convicting issue, man, was the lies that she knew that she was saying, the leading of the witness, the leading of the informant. That was the prosecutor, Athena Serenas. It was a big problem when she knew that the co-defendant was getting up there in line.
Co-defendant was the informant?
Co-defendant turned informant.
Okay.
She knew he was up there in line. The other foreman, he hadn't came upon yet, but these were false allegations, these were false lies when he got down to the jury that he made up. And she knew it. And they never died in my mind, because if you listen to the stories and you listen to him talk while the trial was going through, you knew everything he was saying was just make up as he went along. Guys can do that. Some guys are so good with telling a lie, they will make up a story and go along with it. You be talking to them, and they just keep going and going with the story, man. And it's like, what did it's like, what are you coming up with this? But here it is, you have a people in the jury, they don't want to be there, and some of them just eager to get a person off the street, and they have no idea, a clue of really what's going on, because this ain't really their scene.
Let me ask you a question. How did you find out about this guy, Toto, or Toto, whatever his name is? What's his name? Totos. How you find out about him?
Man, it was so long ago. I think a family member sent him down there to us. Where they know him from? He's white or black? He was a black guy.
And where they know him from?
I couldn't. Somebody knew him from another family member, and they sent him.
Did he specialize in murder cases?
They said, he said he specialized in murder cases. I didn't do the background check, but I heard he had beat some murder cases. But the thing was, when he got into the trial, I don't knock him for doing his job, because he did fight. Now, and what I do knock him for not doing is the research.
That's where he didn't do his job.
He didn't do, but
his job started research, bro.
Right.
That's where his job started.
Right. But when I say his job, it was the fact. Yeah, you absolutely right. There's no arguing about that. He didn't do, he didn't do his research fully, and then make it so bad he filed motions underhandedly. You know what I'm saying?
What do you mean by that sort of?
Well, when he filed motions underhandedly, meaning you file motions that I know nothing about. If I ask you about a motion, you just file it. Now that you done got the money, now you're going to do and file whatever
Do you
want.
remember what motions he filed? You said, because you say he filed the wrong motion.
Well, he filed a motion for a separate jury trial between me and my co-defendants. He filed it. He should have filed a separate motion, but he filed it saying my co-defendant wasn't informing. But I never knew it till I got to prison.
He said that?
Yeah.
Let me say this. Why didn't you take a bench trial?
Well, at the time, people, like he was saying, if you take a bench trial, the judge find you guilty. I wish I would have, because the judge was on my side. But, listening to my lawyer, like, once again, you don't know the law. You're getting slammed. People getting slammed left and right. You know what I'm saying?
Why didn't you take a bench trial?
Because at the bench trial, if a judge hit that galley, majority of the time, if you don't have substantial evidence to get back, you're gone. And at the time, I didn't know how this judge was. I didn't know if he was going to be for me or against me. But at the time, if you don't, it's like people. I mean, it was people saying, this judge, if you don't go in there, if you go in there, you don't take a cop, and you get life. You get life. He will body you. So I didn't know that this judge wasn't like that at the time. So I didn't want to chance it. And I felt like maybe I would have had a better chance with him, but I wish I would have went with a bench trial. But these are things, once again, you don't really know, because some judges just might be just that simple assholes, excuse my language, but don't want to see you out there and don't want to listen to the evidence, don't want to listen to the truth. And you got some judges that be like, hey, wait a minute, but I should have took that bench trial. Because he was on that prosecutor's butt for a lot of stuff he was saying. Because once you implant something in a person's head, which is a jury, whether it's right or wrong, and you keep implanting it, majority of the time, they're going to go with what's wrong, being said was wrong. Because what's right is being written over by the false lies regardless. And that's what kept happening. Lie on top of lie on top of lie, and the jury don't got it. They wouldn't understand it. You got an informant right here just lying his teeth out, and still making up a story as he go along. Even anybody could see that, but apparently the jury didn't. But I know the judge seen it. I know he's seen it. Thomas E. Jackson, he's seen it. Later on down the line, the appeal courts seen a lot more. Yeah, I had my prosecutor misconduct motions and stuff filed, but...
What about a lawyer, ineffective?
I did get back on the ineffective system of counseling.
Okay, good.
No.
When you do that, though, when you get back on that, you can't really say a lawyer did his job.
No, you can't.
Because he was ineffective.
Right, but I wanted that prosecutor misconduct, and they wouldn't give it to me.
It's not easy to get that.
It's not.
It's a way you got to get it.
Yes. Because I felt like, at the end of the day, it was a lot of play in it. It was a lot of play in my case. And it was coming from not just the prosecutor, the detectives. It was a lot of lies. And it was a lot of play in there. And to be honest, you're right. He wasn't ready to handle that.
Who was it?
The lawyer was not ready to handle the games that they had ready for him to play.
He don't seem like a trial lawyer to me.
No, he's not a trial. He's a maybe get a guy off a gun case or something like that. But as far as
like maybe a cop lawyer or something.
A cop lawyer, because when you take a murder case, man, you have to put forth the time and effort to investigate.
It's a lot. That's a big case.
It's a lot. It's a big case. And you're right. And at the end of the day, it wasn't, you had to do your due diligent research, and he didn't do that.
Yes, sir, man. We'll be back with Derrick Saine.